Hi folks, in this course we're going to see how we can add unit tests for an Angular filter. A filter is often used to modify the output of a binding in an HTML template, but they can also be injected into other components like controllers or directives and used in JavaScript, and it is this feature that we can exploit to easily load our filter for testing. We can take a quick look at an existing filter and then write some tests for it. The example app that we'll be working with is called Notes and is a simple little app for writing short, plain text notes which are stored in local storage. If you want to follow along with the coding, you can check out the repository, and that is at https://github.com/Dan Wellman/notes. And the clone URL can be obtained from the input right next to the HTTPS button over here. So first of all, let's clone the repository to our local machine. I'm going to put mine in my user folder. And once we've checked out the repository, we'll need to do a quick npm install to get all of the project dependencies. And we should make sure that we move into the directory that we've just cloned, and we do that using the cd or change directory command. Now we can run the npm install. By the way, if you get stuck at all and the tests for some reason aren't running or they're not passing, if you want to see some working code to compare it to your own, there's a branch in the repository called filter-tests. Just check that out and take a look if you need to. So let's just open up the project in an editor. I'm using the community edition of Visual Studio 2015, which is free. So let's just see the app running. So it's a very simple app for creating, reading, or storing plain text notes. We've got a sidebar at the left here where we can select the note that we want to view. And if we want, we can create a new note. And we can also delete notes if we want. And the filter that we're going to be testing is used in the sidebar for when notes have titles which are too long to display on one line. And as you can see, the second note here, it has a really long title which is too long to display, and so it is truncated at a specific number of characters. So let's just take a look at the filter itself. That is in the app/js/filters folder. And it's a very simple filter. It takes the string to truncate and the length of the string to truncate to, and it simply adds an ellipsis and slices the string if the string is longer than the specified length. The structure of the project is that there is a main app folder which contains all of the code for the application itself. We have a CSS folder in here, a JS folder with multiple subfolders, an SCSS folder and a templates folder, and also a vendor folder for third-party code. We also have a test folder, and inside that folder is a folder called unit, and that's where all of the unit tests reside. And then inside that folder, there is another app folder, and that mirrors the structure of the main app folder. So this project has an example test in it. Let's open it up and take a quick look. It's a very simple test. It's just here so that we can verify that the tests are actually running. So first of all, let's just run this existing test from the command line. And we can run the tests using the grunt test command. And as you can see, the test passes and it looks like everything is set up correctly. Fantastic. So to create our new test file, first of all, let's rename the controllers folder so that it says filters instead, because we're testing a filter. And let's rename the name of the test file so that it has the same name as the file that it's testing, just with .spec.js at the end. So the first thing that we want to do is to get the module that the filter is attached to, and we can use Jasmine's before each method to do that. Next, we can update the test description in the first describe method. And the second argument is a callback function that we can use to add tests to the test suite. So we just need to do a little bit of setup before we can add a test, and the setup that we need to do is to load the filter that we want to test. So we can use Jasmine's before each method again to do that, and also make use of Angular's inject method to inject the filter. So the function that we pass to inject can have any Angular dependency injected into it, and in this case we just want to inject our filter. And let's add a variable that we'll be able to use in any of our tests. And now we can store a reference to the truncate filter in our variable. When we inject the filter, we wrap it in underscores at the start and end, and Angular knows to unwrap that for us inside the callback for the inject method. So when we're injecting a filter like this, even though the filter itself is just called truncate, we need to make sure that we add a camel-cased filter at the end so that Angular knows we just want to inject the filter. So now let's add a test. We already have a test here. It uses Angular's it method. So first of all, let's just update the test description to say what it is we're going to test. So what does the truncate filter do? Well, it truncates a string at the specified length and adds an ellipsis. So let's use that as the test description. In the test, we can use the filter that we injected and pass the required arguments to it manually. So we can now make some assertions about what the filter should return. Because the ellipsis is 3 characters long, and we've specified that our test string should be truncated at 1 character, the test string should still be 4 characters long after the test has run. And we can also test that the truncated string does now contain an ellipsis. So we're using a simple regular expression to test that the truncated string ends with an ellipsis. We use Jasmine's expect method to make an assertion, and we pass this the thing that we'd like to test. So in the first expect method, we want to test the length of the truncated string. So this is what we pass to the expect method. And in the second test, we're performing a test on the truncated string using a regular expression. So this is what is inside the expect method. And in both cases, we use the toEqual matcher. In the first case, we're expecting the property that we're testing to be 4. So the length of our truncated string should be 4 characters. And in the second example, we're expecting the test method on our regular expression to return true. So let's go back to the command line now and run our new tests. So there's been an error. Let's just scroll up and take a look. And it's an injection error by the look of it. And actually the reason why we're seeing this is because of a breaking change in the 1.5 version of Angular. So we just need to update one of the project dependencies. Currently the project is using Phantom.js. We just need to update that to use Phantom.js 2. So let's do that now quickly. So first of all, we can uninstall the existing Karma launcher for Phantom.js. And then we can install the new launcher for Phantom.js 2. We just need to make a slight change to the configuration now. So let's open the karma.conf.js file. And we just need to update the browser to be Phantom.js 2. So let's go back and try running that test again. And this time we can see the test passes. Fantastic. Let's just add one more test for today. This time we can test that the string is not truncated if it is equal or less than the specified amount to truncate at. And let's add a couple of variables as we did in the previous test. So this time we're saying that the string should be truncated after 4 characters, and our string is 4 characters long, so it shouldn't get truncated. We don't need to test that the length of the string is 4 because it's already 4 and it's always going to be 4, so let's just check that an ellipsis is not added. So this time the regular expression test should return false. So let's go back and run the tests again. And we now have 2 passing tests. So in this lesson we've seen just how easy it is to write unit tests for an Angular filter. Loading our filter is trivial as we just use Angular's dependency injection system to inject the filter, where we can use its filter function directly. We saw how to use Jasmine to write our tests and run the tests from the command line using Grunt and Karma. My name is Dan Wellman. I'm at Dan Wellman on Twitter if you want to say hi or if you've got any questions or feedback. From all of us here at Tuts Plus, thanks for watching.